Eat the Tremor-Tremor fruit and refuse the school flower confession. Chapter 1. Get the Zhenzhen fruit at the beginning. Zhongcheng. Zhongcheng No. 1 Middle School. In the classroom of Class 3 of Senior 3. Chu Yun is listening to the teacher's lecture. Ding! Congratulations to the host for binding the Myriad Realms tree system. Ding! Congratulations to the host for binding the Myriad Realms tree system, and the system will issue a novice gift package. Ding! Congratulations to the host. Myriad Realms tree has successfully condensed the treasure fruit, Zhenzhen fruit. Weakness has been eliminated. Please receive it. I heard a sudden sound in my ear. Chu Yun subconsciously opened the system interface that only he could see. In an instant, Chu Yun's consciousness was infinitely raised. After a while, Chu Yun's consciousness appeared in a space. The space is surrounded by endless darkness. But in front of Chu Yun is endless brilliance. A small tree with a crystal clear body appeared in front of Chu Yun's eyes. The small tree is crystal clear, and the branches are swaying and shining. The top of the small tree bears a light-like fruit. When Chu Yun's consciousness touched this small tree, a message appeared in Chu Yun's consciousness. After a while, Chu Yun understood the function of this system. It turned out that this tree of all worlds took root in the heavens and the world. It can extract and condense different treasures and fruits from the heavens and the world. For example, devil fruit in pirate world, kaleidoscope shaker eye and ninjutsu in Naruto world. The Zenpakuto in the world of Shinigami, the different fires in the world, and the 10 evils in the perfect world, etc. Chu Yun was a little overjoyed. It had been more than 10 years since he had traveled to this world. The system has finally arrived. Sure enough, only the late system. There is no absent Goldfinger. The world that Chu Yun traveled through was called Blue Star, the energy revival of the Blue Star millennia ago. From then on, Blue Star entered the extraordinary era. Countless beasts and alien races emerged from the cracks in the void. Humanity was devastated and almost wiped out. But in the process of fighting with beasts, human beings discovered that they can awaken their innate abilities. Through the cultivation of talent ability, you can gain extraordinary power. So, human beings have also entered an era where talent is king and extraordinary is rampant. Chu Yun did not choose to pick the Zhenzhen fruit at this time. Consciousness exits this space. Chu Yun found that this space appeared in his mind. You can come in any time? When Chu Yun's consciousness returned, he heard the teacher's impassioned voice. Classmates, in this era of beasts everywhere, talent is king, and extraordinary is rampant. In this era, only the strong can master their own destiny, and the weak survive in a humble way. Awakening talent is king. Awakening talent can become a strong person and protect your family. Only by awakening talent can you cross classes and kill beasts to gain wealth and honor. Tomorrow is the time for everyone to awaken their talents. Everyone must seize the opportunity at hand. As long as you can awaken your talents, the door of the Transcendent University will be open to you. You need to cheer up. Don't fail to wake up because of your poor mental state, then you will lose more than your gains. The teacher spit all over the podium and spoke impassively. The students below are all looking forward to it. Who doesn't want to be a strong man, become a superior man? Everyone wants to, so everyone will pin their hopes of becoming a strong man on the awakening ceremony tomorrow. After class, the lecturer left. The students started a heated discussion. It would be great if I could awaken the A-level talent, so that at least 2 famous schools can admit me. Come on, you're the only one who awakened your A-level talent, right? You're not afraid of being laughed at when you say it. It is good that you can awaken C-level talents at most. That's okay, my goal is C-level talent, and A-level talent is my unreachable dream. Suddenly a classmate said in a low voice. You said that we will have talents above S rank this session. Difficult, not everyone belongs to the goddess Qin Lian. People easily awaken the SS level talent. It directly shook the whole country, and was finally admitted to the Magic Capital University. Because of her, her life has changed drastically. You're right, after all, such a SS level talent has appeared in Zhongcheng for thousands of years. It's really enviable. Goddess Qin is not only beautiful, but also talented. She is my dream lover. Fuck you, you are not afraid that Chu Yun will hear. Goddess Qin and Chu Yun are childhood sweethearts. I heard that the relationship is not normal. If Chu Yun hears, you are finished. Cut. Isn't he Chu Yun the first in physical fitness? It's hard to say whether he will be able to awaken his talent tomorrow. Even if he is awakened, his level will not be too high. He is not worthy of Goddess Jean at all. What you said is also true. Although Chu Yun is the first in the physical fitness test every time, it is really difficult to say whether he can awaken his talent. If you want me to say, Lin Shui is the only one in our class who can awaken the S-rank talent. After all, they are from Kyoto. My parents heard that they are strong people. With good genes, it is also possible to awaken S-level talent. Yes, I just don't know why she came to Zhongcheng Middle School. Who knows? Anyway, people have the capital. Even in Zhongcheng No. 1 Middle School, they can enter the two famous schools. The students below whispered, and when someone discussed the talented student Qin Luyan from the previous session, they did not forget to look at Chu Yun. Some are disdainful, some are curious. Chu Yun's ear is very good. Hearing the words of the two classmates just now, the corner of his mouth twitched. If Chu Yun hadn't just awakened the system, he would have beaten these two on the way home from school. But now, I'm not in that mood. Chu Yun is still waiting to go home and eat the devil fruit. Chu Yun started looking out the window, looking forward to the end of school. At the back of the classroom, Lin Shui, who was thought to be able to awaken S-rank talent. At this time, he kept looking at Chu Yun's back. There are inexplicable colors flickering in my eyes. Time flies, and school is coming soon. Chu Yun picked up his school bag and rushed out of the classroom extremely fast. Lin Shui looked at Chu Yun's disappearing figure and moved her lips. In the end, I swallowed what I wanted to say. Chu Yun's figure shuttled through the streets and alleys at a very fast speed. Pedestrians on the road only felt a gust of wind blowing by. I looked up and saw nothing. In a low-rent housing in Zhongcheng West District, Chu Yun's thoughts moved. The light group on the Tree of 10,000 Realms appeared in Chu Yun's hands. Looking at this strangely shaped fruit, Chu Yun only felt that life was a little strange. The ability in the novel of the previous life was actually embodied in the real space by himself. I heard that devil fruits are hard to eat. But Chu Yun didn't care, he didn't even want to suffer, so how could he become a strong man? Taking a bite, Chu Yun resisted the urge to vomit. After swallowing the devil fruit with difficulty, Chu Yun only felt a violent energy emerge from his body. There is a lot of black material falling off from the body. Chu Yun knew that it was Zhen Zhenguo who was transforming his body. 10 minutes later, Chu Yun sensed it carefully. It was found that a light group appeared in the body. When Chu Yun opened his eyes, he could actually see the crisscrossing space nodes in the void. Chu Yun raised his finger slightly, and there was a shock wave flickering on his finger. The fingers point to those interlaced space nodes. Ka ka ka, a sour voice sounded. The space in Chu Yun's room showed signs of shattering, and the books on the bookshelf shattered instantly. The walls were also slightly cracked. Chu Yun was taken aback by this powerful force. He quickly retracted his fingers. Then there was a look of joy on his face. Chu Yun felt that the current self, powerful and terrifying. Explosive power inside it seems that as long as he wants, he can shatter this space at any time. Chu Yun exclaimed. It's not bad that it is the Zhen fruit known as the strongest superhuman type. This attack is too powerful. He is only the strength of the awakening stage, and he can smash space nodes at will. Reminds me of the introduction about Zhen fruit. Eaters can cause vibrations in the sky, earth, atmosphere, and ocean at will. It can cause strong earthquakes and tsunamis, and has strong physical destructive power. At the same time, it is also called the power to destroy the world by the warring states of Buddha. Its destructive power and attack range are the most powerful among the 3 known devil fruits, and it is known as the strongest superhuman type. Feeling the shock wave in his hand, Chu Yun felt that he could shatter black iron level superhumans at will. It's just that I don't know what level of talent the ability of this shock fruit can be judged to. As far as Chu Yun knew, Blue Star divided the talent levels from low to high, from F level to SSS level. I don't know if there is a higher level above Chu Yun. Chu Yun felt that the talent brought by Zhen fruit was at least S rank or above, but the specific rank would not be known until he woke up tomorrow. Clean up the room that you've destroyed beyond recognition. Chu Yun came to the small living room and turned on the TV. Just saw the latest hot news. Motu Transcendent Academy, the freshman Qin Luyan has broken through to the early silver stage. It only took a year, and the horror of talent is rare in the world. The first-tier city, Donglan City, senior high school students awakened their S-level talent at today's awakening ceremony, and Donglan Transcendent University admitted them as soon as possible. Recently, near the magic capital, there has been a change in the second beast's lair, and the extraordinary powerhouse of the military has gone to suppress it. A group of extraordinary thieves appeared in the magic capital city. They were caught and sentenced to death for stealing the secret information of the Dragon Kingdom. Chu Yun used to watch these news reports. When he saw that Qin Luyan had broken through the initial stage of silver, he showed a smile. The extraordinary level is generally divided into black, iron, bronze, silver, gold, master, grand master, king. It only took Qin Luyan a year to break through to silver, and his talent was boundless. Chu Yun is also happy for her. He and Qin Luyan grew up in an orphanage. However, Qin Luyan was adopted later. But Chu Yun stayed in the orphanage until he was 16 years old. Qin Luyan is 1 year older than Chu Yun. He participated in Awakening last year and awakened his SS level talent. At that time, everyone was shocked, and even the school leaders did not expect that they could see SS level talents appear in Zhongcheng in their lifetime. With SS level talent, the billions of people in the entire Dragon Kingdom will not exceed 1,000 people. Awakening ratios are appallingly low. This shows the scarcity and rarity of SS level talents. But even so, the relationship between the two is still very good. Chu Yun remembered what Qin Luyan said to him when he was about to go to the magic capital. "I'm waiting for you in the magic capital." Originally, Chu Yun was still a little uneasy in his heart. The Magic City Transcendent University and the Kyoto Transcendent University were also called two famous universities. The students it recruits have the lowest talent of B-level talent. Among them, there are countless students with A-level talents, and S-level talents are not uncommon. It can be said that most of the geniuses in the country are gathered in two prestigious schools. But now, Chu Yun has awakened the system. And to get the shocking fruit, the talent should not be low, so Chu Yun is not too worried anymore. He believed that the day when the two met in the magic capital was not far away. With that graceful figure appearing in his mind, Chu Yun couldn't wait. "I can't wait to rush to the magic capital now." Suddenly, a cell phone ringing interrupted Chu Yun's thoughts. Looking at it, Chu Yun wanted to laugh. "I really do whatever I want." After answering the phone, a clear female voice came from the opposite side. "Xiaoun, tomorrow is your awakening day, are you nervous?" Chu Yun smiled and said, "It's okay, I'm not too nervous, I have confidence in myself." The person on the other side chuckled softly and said softly, "That's good, remember to come to Motu to find me." "That's for sure, I don't go, what if you were kidnapped?" "Hey, then I'll wait for you." "It is good. Then I'm hanging up, I have a task today, bye." Hearing Qin Luyan's words, Chu Yun nodded. "Be careful." After speaking, the phone has been hung up. Chu Yun shook his head. So busy? In the remote magic capital, a girl with a beautiful face and a hot body hung up the phone. He and a few extraordinary students got on a bus and left the school. Chapter 3 Awakening begins. SS level talent appears. Please collect flower evaluation tickets. Hanging up the phone, Chu Yun took a shower and fell asleep on the sofa. Unlike Chu Yun, this night was destined to be a sleepless night for many people. Early in the morning, the sun shone through the pre-dawn darkness. Chu Yun opened his eyes. "After washing up, we headed to school. Today is the day to awaken your talents, don't be late." Coming to the classroom, Liu Yang, the head teacher of Class 3, began to mobilize everyone. "Classmates, today is the day of awakening. Everyone should come down and believe that they can awaken their talents. Also, don't be too disappointed with the students who haven't awakened their talents in the end. The Dragon Kingdom is on the rise, and there are many places that need everyone. They won't let everyone read books for so many years in vain." Liu Yang is still mobilizing everyone. Moments later, the school radio sounded. Liu Yang brought all the students from Class 3 to the playground. When Chu Yun and the others came to the playground, they saw a 5 or 6 meter high glazed stone tablet standing on a high platform. Not far away, there are many school leaders, education bureaus and high-level government officials watching. The annual awakening ceremony is a very important moment, and it is the main method for the country to select strategic talents. Therefore, the Dragon Kingdom government also attaches great importance to each awakening process. At this time, a middle-aged man in formal clothes spoke. Pharaoh, do you think any classmates will be able to awaken SS level talent this time? Wang Yi, the principal of Zhongcheng No. 1 Middle School, heard the question from this person from the Education Bureau, and said after thinking for a while, "It's difficult. Last year's Qin Luyan was a miracle. It's impossible for a miracle to happen in Zhongcheng every year. It's really hard to awaken SS level talent." Wang Yi didn't dare to speak up. SS rank talent was too rare. No one dares to guess at random until the final result is obtained. The middle-aged man nodded when he heard Wang Yi's words. That's right, Zhongcheng has only seen such a SS-ranked person for thousands of years. Looking at the existing SS-level talents in the entire Dragon Kingdom, there are no more than 1,000 people, which is indeed a miracle. A middle-aged woman next to her, an official from the Zhongcheng government, heard the conversation between the two. He opened his mouth and said, "Our Zhongcheng is only a third-tier city after all, and only those first-tier cities have the opportunity to produce an S-rank or higher talent every year. It is difficult for other second-tier cities and third-tier cities to appear." Wang Yi and the others also nodded. After seeing the people below, the middle-aged man from the Education Bureau said, "Let's start." Wang Yi did not delay, and directly announced the beginning of the awakening. The teachers below heard the headmaster's words and immediately opened the Awakening God Monument. A divine light began to flow on the glass tablet. First, Class 1 students wake up. The awakener stood beside the stele and shouted loudly, "Put your hand on the stele, and if there is no light flashing for more than 2 minutes, it will be regarded as a failure of the awakening." The students in Class 1 were a little nervous, and one by one they began to line up for awakening. The first awakening was a boy. When the boy's palm was placed on the stone tablet, everyone below was sweating for him. Time passed, and until 2 minutes later, the stone tablet did not respond. The awakening member was a little helpless and shouted, "Li Feng, the awakening failed." The next one. When the boy heard this, his face turned pale, and he walked down the high platform swayingly. Some despair looked up at the sky. The atmosphere at the awakening scene froze instantly, and some of the other students were so oppressed that it was hard to breathe. The awakening continued, except for the voice of the awakening members. There was no sound at the scene. The needle drop could be heard. Awakening failed. Next. Awakening failed. Next. The faces of the classmates below and the senior management of Zhongcheng are not very good looking. After half an hour, finally, an excited voice sounded, "Zhang Kuei, awaken the sea-level talent, the body of King Kong." The voice fell, and even the gasps of all parties could be heard. The school leaders, the Education Bureau and the government all breathed a sigh of relief. The students below looked at Zhang Kuei with envy. Awakened successfully? I used to think that Zhang Kuei's future was limitless, and sure enough, my vision was the best. Heroes say the same thing, and I feel the same way. Fuck you, you two have to nod your face. Zhang Kuei is indeed a genius, but it is not something you two can see. The students seem to have found a place to vent their stress. Leave them alone. The awakening continues. Lu Qing, awaken the D-level talent and control the wind. Zhang Yuan, the awakening failed. The next one. Zheng Hong, awaken B-level talent, entwined with green vines. Wu Lei, awaken B-level talent, Julie. Gu Sanjian, awaken C-level talent, defensive armor. 2 hours later, the awakening of all the students in Class 1 and Class 2 ended. 100 classmates, a total of 10 awakened, and none of them awakened above A-level talent. This kind of data makes the seniors of Zhongcheng look a little ugly, but there is no alternative but to accept the reality. Finally it was Class 3's turn, and Lin Shui was the first to wake up. When Lin Shui went up, the person from the government said, "This is the little girl from the Lin family in Kyoto." Yes, she is the one who transferred from Kyoto to Zhongcheng No. 1 Middle School this year. Wang Yi nodded. He was still very impressed with this student. Both parents are strong, and this year, I suddenly transferred from Kyoto, so he paid special attention. The middle-aged woman nodded with hope in her eyes. While people are discussing before the Awakening God Monument, Lin Shui's little hand had already touched the Awakening God Monument. Just got in touch. Boom! A loud bang spread all over the place. A dazzling light rose into the night. The light of that classmate's awakening is not as dazzling as Lin Xue's awakening. This scene shocked everyone present. Wang Yi and the others stood up excitedly, watching the light wrapping Xue Lin gradually changed from white to cyan, and then from cyan to purple. It finally stopped when it turned dark purple. The awakener next to him was dumbfounded, looking at Lin Xue wrapped in purple divine light in a daze. Wang Yi and the others also swallowed hard and looked at each other. They are familiar with this purple light. Last year also bloomed the same purple magic light. It was exactly the same light as Qin Luyin's awakening last year. All purple rays of light rose into the sky, and the glazed stone tablet kept flashing. Isn't this another SS-level talent? The middle-aged man from the Education Bureau was already a little incoherent with excitement. Wang Yi and the others ignored him, and everyone felt a little weird. It is not surprising that Lin Xue was able to awaken his talent, but they all felt that Lin Xue's ability to awaken her S-rank talent was already amazing. Unexpectedly, Lin Xue also awakened the talent of SS rank. Haha, good. Wang Yi reacted instantly and laughed. This year, Zhongcheng has another SS-level talent, which makes Zhongcheng so glorious. Last year, because of Qin Luyin's appearance, Zhongcheng became popular all over the country. Unexpectedly, this year is still the case, which makes Wang Yi as the principal unhappy. The other people also had smiles on their faces. As long as they were from Zhongcheng, this was their honor. The students below also exploded. Isn't this the second goddess Lin? This talent seems to be comparable to goddess Qin. Sure enough, being ugly is the original sin, and even talent is despised. The other students felt this way and nodded in agreement. Chu Yun also looked at the slender figure on the high platform with some surprise. Asterisk on the high platform, the glazed statue of the god of glass flickered endlessly. Purple light rose into the night. Lin Xue's slender figure was wrapped in purple divine light. This scene stunned the upper levels of Zhongcheng. The students below were also stunned. It is not surprising that Lin Xue was able to awaken his talent. Awakening S-level talent is not surprising to everyone, but the awakening of the SS-level talent surprised everyone. Looking at the whole dragon country, there are no more than 1,000 people who have awakened SS-level talents. And it's all the accumulation of thousands of years. That is to say, if the population of several billions is divided equally, one awakens every year. This can also see the difficulty of awakening SS-level talents. No wonder everyone is surprised. This is really a bit dreamy and shocking. Wang Yi's heart was extremely excited at this time. Last year, there was an SS-level talented student in Zhongcheng No. 1 Middle School. There is another one this year, which is a huge surprise for both Wang Yi himself and Long Guo. Haha, good, great. With a smile on his face, Wang Yi kept patting the vice principal with his big hand. The vice principal was very happy, but was almost shot to death by Wang Yi. The other Zhongcheng high-level officials also had smiles on their faces. Zhongcheng once again has an SS-level talent, which is very helpful for Zhongcheng to upgrade from a third-level city to a second-level city. The students below were also full of admiration and envy. Chu Yun also looked at the slender figure on the high platform in surprise. But there was not much fluctuation, just a thumbs up for her secretly. Finally, after a short period of noise, the scene returned to quiet. The awakened member also came back to his senses and shouted loudly, Lin Xue, awaken the SS-level talent, Wang Yang of the Deep Sea. With a loud shout, the purple light on Lin Xue's body gradually faded. There seemed to be a purple ray of light floating into Lin Xue's body inside the glass tablet. Lin Xue slowly opened her eyes, and a look of joy appeared on her pretty face. Out of the corner of his eyes, he looked at Chu Yun with some pride. Then he stepped off the high platform under the envious gaze of the awakened member. All the teachers and students in the school looked at her, and they only felt that Lin Xue seemed to have more temperament after awakening. When Lin Xue walked into the team of Class 3 and passed by Chu Yun, there was a hint of shyness on the pretty face, as if to summon courage. Chu Yun, come on. After saying that, he lowered his head and left quickly. Chu Yun was stunned, and looked at Lin Xue with some doubts. It had been half a year since Lin Xue came to Class 3, and he didn't usually have any friends. Chu Yun didn't know her well either, but he didn't expect that Lin Xue would suddenly say such things to him. The other students also looked at Chu Yun with a dull expression. Several students gritted their teeth. Damn it, how can Chu Yun get the favor of Goddess Lin and Goddess Qin? Is it because he is handsome? Just because of his good physical performance? Snort. My king is not satisfied. I consider myself to be more handsome and physically fit than Chu Yun. Cough. Anyway, my king is no weaker than that kid Chu Yun. The other students looked at each other with contempt. Chu Yun's face was dark, and he was about to go over and talk to this man about his ideals in life. As a result, the head teacher Liu Yang grabbed him. Chu Yun, go next. Come on, don't embarrass class 3. As he said that, the smile on Liu Yang's face had already reached his ears. As he said that, the smile on Liu Yang's face had already reached his ears. Chu Yun looked around, thought about it, and said casually, okay. After speaking, Chu Yun strode up to the high platform. Just as Chu Yun was walking away, the classmates below began to discuss Chu Yun again. Do you think Chu Yun can awaken his B-level talent? It's hard to say, the chances are not high. My king thinks that Chu Yun will definitely not be able to awaken his talent, just wait and see. When he, Chu Yun, fails to awaken his talent, after my king awakens, he must humiliate him, Chu Yun. Hearing this, the others were speechless. You have to humiliate people at every turn, and say they have robbed your goddess at every turn. I'm afraid this classmate has a serious illness. Someone Wang wanted to speak, but was slapped on the head by Liu Yang's dark-faced slap. The beating made Wang someone dizzy. The others continued to chat. I think Chu Yun should be able to awaken A-level talent, but this is not the capital that he can be worthy of Goddess Qin. Other Qin Liyuan's die-hard fans nodded, expressing their high approval. Their goddess is noble and impure, and they will not allow anyone to defile her. Chu Yun ignored the voices below, strode up to the high platform with his head held high. This made the leaders secretly nod their heads. Whether they were awake or not, the momentum alone was worthy of praise. This is the vibrant flower of our dragon kingdom? The awakened watched Chu Yun strode forward and didn't say much. The glazed god tablet again flowed with brilliance. With a gesture, Chu Yun nodded. He stretched out his slender palm and slowly landed on the monument. The moment Chu Yun touched the monument, he felt a surge of energy flowing into his body along his arm. Like a clear spring flowing, it is very comfortable to be cold and cold. After a while, Chu Yun felt the energy passing through a certain part of his body. There seems to be a light cluster there that is ignited by this energy. The light group instantly radiated a great victory, and the raging fire that entrained the thunder began to burn. Just like an extinguished candle, it is instantly lit by the flame. Raging? Zizi? At this moment, Chu Yun's body began to burst into light. The whole body first ignited a raging flame, and finally there was thunder and lightning. Countless runes suddenly appeared on the glass god tablet. The light on Chu Yun's body also changed from white to blue, then from blue to purple, and finally from purple to gold. In the end, the golden rays of light rose into the night and shot straight into the sky, as if to compete with this day. Wang Yi and the others sat back in their seats with contented faces when they saw this scene. All their mouths were open, and a pale expression appeared on their faces. This is the frightened expression. The students below also had their mouths open. Wang Xian swallowed a mouthful of spit with difficulty. What level of talent is this? Someone next to him spoke subconsciously. At least it's higher than Goddess Lin's level. It's already starting to shine. The head teacher Liu Yang also stared blankly at Chu Yun. This is usually the most outstanding student. This is the awakening of a great talent. Look, that golden light is about to break through the sky. Look, the flames around him are carrying thunder, and the momentum is unbelievably violent. Look at that awakened member is suppressed so hard to breathe. This all shows that his student has awakened a great talent. Anyway, Liu Yang has never seen such an awakening scene, and he doesn't know what level of talent it is. All he knew was that this was an awesome talent. All he knew was that he was going to make a fortune. Just when everyone was so surprised that they didn't return to their senses, the flame and thunder on Chu Yun dissipated. An invisible wave began to appear around Chu Yun. The air began to tremble, and the awakened member was just suppressed by the flames and thunder, and it was difficult to breathe, just when he felt that he could breathe out. As if an invisible force turned into a big hand to grab his neck again, making him unable to breathe, and his face began to flush. When Chu Yun Zhou Sheng began to appear raging flames and thunder. The countless runes of the glass god tablet flickered violently. A golden light shot into the sky, straight into the sky, as if to break through the sky. While everyone was still surprised by the vision that Chu Yun had just caused, the flame and thunder on Chu Yun began to dissipate. At the same time as it dissipated, an invisible vibration centered on Chu Yun spread outward like concentric circles. The awakened was already suppressed by the flames and thunder, so he couldn't breathe, and he just took a breath. Suddenly, he seemed to be strangled by an invisible big hand again. His eyes were bloodshot and his face flushed. People in the distance only saw the vision disappearing on Chu Yun's body, but they didn't feel the invisible wave. They all thought that the expressions of the awakened members were caused by being too excited. Only Wang Yi and the others above noticed the difference. They are also extraordinary. When they saw that the vision on Chu Yun disappeared, they discovered the strangeness. They looked at each other and saw the confusion in each other's eyes. Then I felt an invisible space shock swept in again. The faces of several people were heavy, and even they felt threatened under this spatial shock. Just as Wang Yi was about to speak, the invisible vibrational force on Chu Yun suddenly disappeared. The raging flame and thunder appeared again, completely wrapping Chu Yun, like a thunder god surrounded by flames. This surprised everyone again. What's the situation? How can it appear and disappear, disappear and appear again? How is this like playing? At this moment, Wang Yi couldn't bear it any longer, and said, "What the hell is going on? Why does the vision just now seem to disappear, and a strange spatial fluctuation reappears? And now the sense of spatial shock has disappeared again, and then the vision just now appears. What is going on?" Several others shook their heads. Neither had they seen such a strange awakening ritual. Accidents occur frequently, making everyone's mood like a roller coaster, ups and downs, turbulent. At this time, Chu Yun, who was on the high platform, felt that the light group of the ability transformed into the quake fruit was activated. It seems to have turned into a natural talent of its own. Most importantly, Chu Yun himself seems to have awakened a talent. Does that mean that he has awakened his dual talents? This made Chu Yun feel a little surprised and a little happy at the same time. This shows that his own talent is not low, and now he adds the talent brought by Zhenzhen fruit. Chu Yun is a bit invincible. But Chu Yun suddenly remembered something, and began to gather the power that overflowed from the shocking fruit. It is enough to show his own talent again, so that everyone thinks that he has awakened a talent. If this is to let others know that they have awakened dual talents, and the levels of both talents are terrifyingly high, Chu Yun may not survive for 2 days. There are not only humans in this world, but also countless beasts and aliens. If those beasts and aliens knew that Chu Yun was a genius with dual talents, and his talents were terrifyingly high, Chu Yun is sure that he will face countless assassinations in the future. But it is different if there is only one higher level talent, and it has also appeared in human history. This is not something unbelievable, everyone can understand. Showing only one talent was Chu Yun's decision after careful consideration. That way, you can get the favor of the famous school, and you won't be too conspicuous, and you won't be targeted by beasts and aliens. So everyone saw the vision of Chu Yun's body appearing and disappearing, disappearing and appearing again. Everyone was really drunk, and they were dizzy by Chu Yun's sassy manipulation. Finally 2 minutes passed. The awakened who finally got his breath looked at Chu Yun with a complicated expression. The voice weakly said, "Chu Yun, awaken the SSS level talent and destroy Lei Yan." The voice of the awakened member fell, and the scene was instantly quiet, and the needle drop could be heard. Even the high-level officials of Shangfang Zhongchang stopped breathing for a short time. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, boom. Finally, the short silence passed, and what was ushered in was a terrifying noise, gasping, swallowing, and rapid heartbeat. What the hell? SSS level talent? What level talent is that? Are you stupid? SSS level talent is of course a higher talent than SS level talent. How is this possible? Someone can awaken such a talent. Is this still a human? Shut up, hurry up and give me a copy of the video I just recorded. I want to pronounce Duyin, and I want to tell the whole country that there is an SSS level talent in our Zhongchang. Oh, well, it's over, it's a bit long, you edit it yourself. Simple, okay? This time it will surely shock the whole country. Who would have thought that a SS-level talent and an SSS-level talent would appear in a third-level city at the same time, which would definitely be able to shock the jaws of those fighting buddies? I'll never deny that Chu Yun is more handsome than me. There was a lot of noise from the crowd, and at the same time, countless students edited the video they had just recorded, and posted it on the internet in an instant. Above, Wang Yi and others were confused at first, and finally turned into a deep surprise. Several old men and grandmothers actually had tears in their eyes. This was another miracle. The miracle that just appeared last year was broken by another miracle this year. Although there were countless accidents along the way, when the voice of the awakener was heard, it meant that the other party had indeed awakened the SSS-level talent. This is a talent that has never appeared in Jiangqing's history, and it will bring Zhongcheng to a new historical height. Several old people were so excited that they burst into tears. Zhongcheng has a dragon, and the golden dragon belonging to Zhongcheng has appeared. Zhongcheng has contributed a super genius to the Dragon Kingdom. Wang Yi muttered to himself. When others heard it, they all agreed. Indeed, it would be a tremendous honor. As long as Chu Yun grows up, they believe that the Dragon Kingdom will be a pillar again in many places. There are less than 100 people in the country with SSS-level talent, which is also the accumulation of the Dragon Kingdom for thousands of years. On average, one peerless genius appears every 10 years. Such a genius actually appeared in their Zhongcheng, which made several Zhongcheng executives not excited. Old Wang, this time you have done a great job of neutralizing. Well, next year, your number 1 middle school's education allocation will be 20% more. Thank you, Lai Bureau. When Wang Yi heard the words of Director Lai of the Education Bureau, he hurriedly thanked him. Wait a while, I haven't finished speaking yet. This classmate looks like a poor student. Well, this time, the Education Bureau's contribution of 1 million dragon coins is a reward for him. As soon as Bureau Lai finished speaking, the government official also said, let's provide him with 10 primary nutritional supplements. I thank you both for Chu Yun. Wang Yi looked surprised. It's nothing, it's the arrogance of the Dragon Kingdom, it's worth it. The two said in unison. Star. Chapter 6 Rewards to Chu Yun. Please collect flower evaluation tickets. When Director Lai of the Education Bureau and high-level government officials spoke about the reward for Chu Yun, Wang Yi was extremely happy. 1 million dragons and 10 primary nutritional supplements. This is a huge sum of money. Not to mention the million dragon national currency. 10 primary nutritional supplements alone are worth 3 million. This is indeed a huge sum of money for a poor student. Chu Yun's identity information, he, the principal, still knows. He grew up in an orphanage and then came out alone to make a living. In order to be able to exercise better, I do several part-time jobs every day. With these rewards now, Chu Yun will not be short of money in the short term. Wang Yi nodded in satisfaction. Over there, Chu Yun opened his eyes shining like stars. Deep and vast. There is an invisible magic that constantly attracts everyone. After a while, the vision on Chu Yun disappeared, and the whole person returned to calm. The students are still in heated discussions, and some students have already posted the video recorded today on the internet. Those classmates who said that Chu Yun couldn't wake up were watching their eyes, nose, and heart, and they didn't say anything. Looking at Wang, someone looked contemptuous, but then muttered to himself. Sure enough, Chu Yun is the most powerful. He is indeed my king's lifelong enemy. Everyone, in the team of Class 3, Lin Shui was surrounded by several classmates at this time, but at this time everyone's eyes were focused on Chu Yun. Several people had come to curry favor with Lin Shui, but they hadn't had time to speak to Lin Shui. I saw the golden light on Chu Yun's body breaking through the sky. His eyes also turned to Chu Yun's side consciously. Lin Shui also opened her mouth with red lips, and looked at Chu Yun with bright eyes. Obviously Lin Shui was also frightened by Chu Yun's awakened talent. She transferred from Kyoto and knew things that other people couldn't understand. She knows the importance and scarcity of SSS-level talent. Even in Kyoto, there is at most one per year. Other first-tier cities, second-tier cities, and third-tier cities have no record of awakening SSS-level talents at all. After being surprised, Lin Shui's eyes were a little helpless and tangled, and her fingers kept entwining. Are you going to continue your confession? She originally planned to wait until Chu Yun awakened the A-level talent, and then confess to Chu Yun, and she would cover Chu Yun in the future. But what she didn't expect was that Chu Yun had awakened her SSS level talent, which made her a little overwhelmed. Therefore, Lin Shui was a little tangled in her heart at this time. Should she still confess? After struggling for a moment, Lin Shui seemed to have made a decision, and there was a firm look in her eyes. He secretly encouraged himself. His small chest fluctuated a few times, and took a deep breath to calm down. Chu Yun wasn't surprised by everyone's reaction. After all, Lin Shui's awakening of SS level talent could surprise everyone like that. Having awakened the SSS level talent, their shock is understandable. Just as Chu Yun was about to step off the high platform, a voice came from his ear. Chu Yun, come here. He looked up in confusion and looked in the direction of the voice. Chu Yun saw that it was Principal Wang waving to him over there. After thinking for a while, Chu Yun walked over there. The classmates below were going to flatter and give Chu Yun a good hug. In the end, seeing Chu Yun walking over there, he was full of regret and admiration. Chu Yun is about to flourish now, and is directly met by those big men. Now, we're afraid we won't have the chance to hug God Chu's thigh. Will you speak? Are those big people meeting Chu Yun? These big people are going to start to please Chu Yun, okay? He has no eyesight, SSS level talent, even those big people in the first level big cities must respectfully receive them. Oh, yes, it's my misnomer, my fault. The awakening ceremony did not continue, but kept waiting for Chu Yun to go to the school leader. Awakened members only opened their mouths to wake up and continue. The awakening ceremony over there continued, and Wang Yi and the others were no longer in the mood to check the situation over there. Nothing is as important as SSS level talent, and they put all their attention on Chu Yun. As soon as Chu Yun arrived, Wang Yi grabbed his hands. Wang Yi's face was kind, and he kept slapping the back of Chu Yun's hand. Yeah, it's not a matter of being the genius of my Zhongcheng, and it is worthy of being the arrogance of my Dragon Kingdom. The talent really goes against the sky. The others also spoke up and said, Principal Wang is right. The future of Chu Yun is limitless, limitless. Several leaders looked at Chu Yun with the expressions of their grandsons. Chu Yun suddenly felt a slight chill on his back. Then I heard the government official speak. Student Chu Yun, you don't have a girlfriend, do you? I have a granddaughter. If you have the opportunity, you young people should have more contact. By the way, my granddaughter is beautiful. Wang Yi and everyone, has this all started to sell granddaughters? Do you want to nod your face? But then several old people also began to introduce the blind date to Chu Yun. This makes Chu Yun's face bewildered. Am I at the age where I need a blind date? Cough cough. Wang Yi coughed a few times, suppressing the voices of everyone. Tell me about the awards from the Education Bureau and the government. This made Chu Yun instantly return to his senses. What is a granddaughter? Not a granddaughter? Money is the most important. Asterisk Chapter 7 The Fire in Zhongcheng, Lin Shui's Confession. Please collect the flower evaluation ticket. Chapter 7 The Fire in Zhongcheng, Lin Shui's Confession. When Chu Yun heard the awards from the Education Bureau and the government, the consciousness that was still immersed in the blind date was instantly awake. What granddaughter is not a granddaughter? It doesn't matter at all. The most important thing now is money. I am now poor, and nothing is more important than money at this time. Besides, even if you think about it, you don't dare. There is a big wife with silver level strengths waiting for him in the magic capital. As soon as Wang Yi finished speaking, Chu Yun hurriedly spoke. Principal, when will the reward be given to me? This expression of giving me money quickly made several leaders laugh. Unexpectedly, the evildoer who awakened his SSS level talent actually likes money so much. Director Lai of the Education Bureau immediately said, Don't worry, Chu Yun, the reward will be delivered to your house tonight. The one from the government responded the same way. With a grateful expression, Chu Yun said, Leaders, Zhongcheng will definitely be under the leadership of several leaders, constantly rising and rapidly becoming a second-tier city. Even if it becomes a first-tier city, the future is promising. The few people who were flattered were fluttering, and they felt like they were going to ascend to heaven. Several people are satisfied. If others say that, they will be slapped in the past. But these words, from Chu Yun, the evildoer who awakened his SSS level talent, made several people very comfortable. Haha, where, You still need the flowers of your motherland to support the development of your hometown. Several people have humble expressions on their faces. Chu Yun is not a stubborn person either. Since he has paid for it, why would he say a few good words? Money is a cow, and money is an uncle. Continuing to accompany several leaders to brag, Wang Yi looked at Chu Yun in surprise with a harmonious atmosphere. This kid is really talking about people and talking about ghosts. After thinking about it, it seems that this is not bad. The strong does not mean that as long as the talent is good, you can become a strong, and you also need a certain amount of sophistication. Everyone continued to talk about the future development of Zhongcheng, and Chu Yun began to draw a big cake for the leaders. It is said that Zhongcheng will definitely become a first-class city in the future, and several leaders will become important heroes of the country. These words made several leaders more and more flirtatious. It was not until Chu Yun left that everyone looked at each other. They all saw surprise in each other's eyes. Over there, Chu Yun breathed a sigh of relief, in order to fool several leaders. I have used all my strength to breastfeed? When Chu Yun first came to the class, he found that no one paid him any attention. This made Chu Yun a little surprised. Is everyone so cold? No one beat me? But then don't care. He took out his mobile phone for himself, but when Chu Yun just opened it, numerous hot news occupied Chu Yun's phone screen. Chu Yun opened it and saw that the content inside was the awakening of himself and Lin Shui, especially his own, which was magnified several times. Chu Yun's appearance was almost seen clearly. The key is that this video has hundreds of millions of likes and more than 1 million comments. Instantly rushed to the top of the hot search list. Chu Yun was a little helpless. He wanted to keep a low profile and be a beautiful man, but his strength did not allow it. Damn Duyan, make me so hot. Let me at this age bear the attention I should not bear. But then he bared his teeth and grinned. A boy of this age is always a little proud and contented by so many people's attention. That's what it means to be present? Chu Yun continued to look at the comments below. After watching it for a while, I saw the most liked sentence. Fuck. Where is Zhongcheng? Isn't that a third-level town? Why is it so awesome? Why is there an SS-level talent and a monster with an SSS-level talent at the same time? This comment is the most liked. Obviously, this is also the most shocking place for netizens across the country. A reply follows. Haha, there's something you don't know. Last year, in this third-level town, there was a monster with SS-level talent. This year is even more extreme than last year. This Zhongcheng has a sign of rising. This reply was instantly liked and approved by countless people, and at the same time was secretly shocked. Someone suddenly commented, are the residents of Zhongcheng descendants of ancient powerhouses? Because the bloodline has begun to recover in recent years, the talent is so terrifying? Hey, this great god's analysis is very reasonable. There is indeed such a possibility. Just like Kyoto, a large number of powerhouses gathered here in ancient times, leaving too many powerful bloodlines. Therefore, the talents of Kyoto people are generally better than those of other cities. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Breakthrough. Chu Yun looked at these comments with relish and nodded secretly. As expected, these netizens have the biggest brain hole. These people are not interested in scientific research, otherwise those experts in Long Kingdom may lose their jobs. These news continue to ferment on the internet, and the awakening ceremony of Yizhong is about to end. There are only 3 classes in the 3rd year of high school. After class 3 awakens, the awakening ceremony is completely over. This time, class 3 had the best results, and a total of 5 people had awakened their talents. One of them also awakened an A-level talent. This made Liu Yang almost go crazy. With a satisfied face, Wang Yi announced that the awakening ceremony was over. Then Chu Yun was called by Wang Yi again. Chu Yun, all the extraordinary universities will come to Zhongcheng tomorrow. You have to prepare your heart and think about the extraordinary university you want to go to. By the way, and you won't be going to school anymore. You don't have to take the college entrance examination anymore. Okay, principal, I'll consider it. Chu Yun nodded, having already made a decision in his heart. Just when Chu Yun was about to leave the school, he suddenly felt that someone was holding him back. Chu Yun turned around suspiciously and saw Lin Shueqiao's face blushing. A small hand grabbed the corner of his shirt. Chu Yun looked at Lin Shui with some doubts. Student Lin Shui, what's the matter with you? At this time, all the teachers and students in the school were still waiting for Chu Yun to leave first. So they saw Lin Shui grabbing Chu Yun's clothes. Everyone is curious to know what these two geniuses are going to do. But the next moment, Lin Shui's words made the teachers and students in the school almost drop their jaws. I only heard Lin Shui say weakly, Chu Yun, I like you, I want to talk to you about friends. As soon as these words come out, don't talk about the client, Chu Yun. All the other students were also petrified. I can vaguely hear the heartbreak of several boys. Chapter 8 Lin Shui's Confession. Qin Luyan smiled slightly. Chu Yun, I like you, can I talk to you as friends? As soon as this sentence came out, Chu Yun petrified. All the students began to petrify. The heartbreak of several male classmates could be vaguely heard. At this moment, the scene of absolute silence in the whole school was staged again. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. It was a long silence. Only the breeze blew across the grass, and the grass swayed slightly. It makes you feel like time doesn't stop. It's people's hearts that stop. Lin Shui's head almost dropped to the ground at this time. Finally, the person involved, Chu Yun, regained his senses. Chu Yun looked at Lin Shui, whose face was flushed. He asked in surprise, why? As soon as Chu Yun opened his mouth, it was as if the spring breeze had melted the ice in the Arctic. There is a sound of inhalation at the scene. Hiss. But then, everyone started watching Chu Yun quietly. Everyone's ability to adapt is very strong. After a short period of surprise, they began to fold their arms and watch gossip. Lin Shui raised her head with difficulty and looked at Chu Yun with bright eyes. We knew each other a long time ago, don't you remember? I like you, there is no reason, I just like you. After saying this, Lin Shui seemed to have used up all her strength and lowered her head again. Chu Yun was stunned for a while. What do you mean we knew each other a long time ago? What does it mean to like me? Am I so good that I am shocked by the body of a tiger and fascinated by thousands of girls? Everyone in the audience sweated for Chu Yun and Lin Shui. Some people hope that Chu Yun agrees quickly, and some people hope that Lin Shui will succeed soon. It also makes someone's heart shatter, both boys and girls. Above, Wang Yi and everyone who were about to leave stopped when they saw this scene. Haha, this little girl from the Lin family still has some courage. Seeing that Chu Yun's talent is too enchanting, he immediately began to confess, which was definitely the most correct decision. Everyone nodded, and felt that Lin Shui, this little girl, had some courage. Dare to speak out in front of all the teachers and students of the school. And it was Chu Yun who had just awakened his SSS level talent. But the next moment, everyone began to doubt life. I heard Chu Yun say, I don't remember, sorry, no matter if we knew each other before, it's impossible for us. I already have someone I like, and she's still waiting for me? Boom! Everyone just felt that the 5 thunders hit the top, and their brains were completely insufficient. Chu Yun actually rejected Goddess Lin's confession, and said that he already has someone he likes. This is definitely big news. Shocked, the one-day talented girl expressed her talent as a young boy, but in the end she was unable to love. Boys already have her in their hearts. It's really a bloody love triangle? This title suddenly appeared in everyone's mind. But even more shocking is yet to come. Hearing Lin Shui raise his head again, his eyes were calm, as if he had expected it. I know, it's Qin Luyan, but I don't mind. I still want to be friends with you. Chu Yun only felt his head go blank. What is this? What do you know again? You know you still confessed? What do you mean you don't mind? You don't mind me? This time, Chu Yun is not as calm as he used to be and said sorry. Just run away. This scene made the teachers and students in the whole school a little speechless. What the hell is going on here? Qin Luyan's die-hard fans have all broken their teeth. I knew it was Goddess Qin. Damn, it's Chu Yun, isn't he? Handsome, good grades and talented? Why can you get the favor of the 2 goddesses? My goddess? This man has already started biting his sleeve frantically. Several other people did the same, transferring all hatred to Chu Yun. After Wang Yi and the others were surprised, they shook their heads and laughed. Just now, that kid Chu Yun was talking freely in front of them. Now I was told by a little girl to run away. Several elderly people are also very happy. Lin Shui looked at the direction in which Chu Yun fled, and shouted loudly, I won't give up, Chu Yun, You have to wait for me. Chu Yun's footsteps stagnated, a little scared, and then he ran 3 points faster. There were some memories flashing in Lin Shui's eyes, and then it turned into a firm color. Then Lin Shui also left the playground. Leave all the students in the wind, messy. Hey, Chu Yun is my distant dream. Gone, gone, today is really not a taste. The crowd nodded and began to disperse. The awakening ceremony is here, and it is completely over. In the remote magic capital, in a factory, Qin Luyan instructed several extraordinary students to arrest the criminals. I took out a tissue and wiped my hands. A crisp Oni-san sounded. Withdraw. Then he walked out with his long legs. Several extraordinary students escorted the criminals to keep up. When Qin Luyan just got back on the bus, a sweet voice rang in Qin Luyan's ear. Luoyin, look at the Nanjiang news. There is a genius with SSS talent there. Qin Luyan glanced at a young girl in the flower season opposite. He opened his mouth and said, Jia, what news made you so rude? See for yourself. By the way, isn't Nanjiang your hometown? Wu Jia said with 2 ponytails. When Qin Luyan heard this, she hurriedly turned on her phone and checked it. Wu Jia also came over and looked at Qin Luyan's phone. The moment Qin Luyan opened the hot news, Qin Luyan laughed, from the bottom of his heart. That kind of smiling by Meishan's smile appeared unconsciously. This made Wu Jia and the few extraordinary students who just got on the bus a little lost. What? This is too pretty. They have never seen Qin Luyan laugh like this. Even Wu Jia looked surprised. This best friend of her family was usually very cold. Like an iceberg president, aloof, cold and pure. Gives a sense of being able to see from a distance. There are several geniuses in the school, but they only dare to have a crush on Qin Luyan, and dare not speak up. Unexpectedly, she smiled so naturally and so beautifully today. Apparently, it's a joy from the heart. Union? What's wrong with you? Wu Jia recovered and asked a question. Others were also reluctant to look at it anymore. This guy is usually very serious, mainly because he is too strong. It's nothing, I just saw something happy. Qin Luyan returned to her former high coldness and spoke lightly. Wu Jia knew her best friend best, and she felt that something must have happened, and her big eyes rolled. He took out his phone again and looked at it, and then he seemed to have found something. Surprised, Luoyin, Zhongcheng? It's Zhongcheng, isn't your home from Zhongcheng? You didn't even say anything, it was clearly because you saw a genius in your hometown that made you laugh. Wu Jia, I already understand your expression. Qin Luyan had a slight smile on the corner of his mouth, but did not speak. She saw the slender figure. A man covered in flaming flames and thunder? That's the one she's been waiting for. Chapter 9. To get a wheel eye, all parties come. 3 more. Ask for a collection of flower evaluation tickets. Chu Yun was scared away by Lin Shui's sudden confession. The awakening ceremony of the school is also completely over. Qin Luyan, who was far away in the magic capital, also knew that there was a demon in Zhongcheng who had awakened his SSS level talent. The news on the internet about the emergence of many geniuses in the third-tier city, Zhongcheng, is still fermenting. That is, during this period of continuous fermentation on the internet. Several well-known transcendental universities such as Kyoto, Magic Capital, and Nanjiang have all traveled to Zhongcheng by Yukong. Chu Yun finally returned home. Just when he was about to take a sip of water to suppress his shock, in my mind, the voice of the system sounded again. Ding! The Myriad Realms tree successfully condensed the treasure fruit. Please receive it from the host. Ding! The Myriad Realms tree successfully condensed the treasure fruit. Sherry Non, please receive it from the host. Chu Yun was a little surprised at first, then surprised. The Myriad Worlds tree condensed the devil fruit for the first time. This time, it condenses Riding Wheel Eyes. Chu Yun hurriedly immersed consciousness into his mind. The surroundings were still chaotic darkness. Only the Myriad Realms tree is exuding a dazzling brilliance. Looking at the crystal clear tree of 10,000 worlds, Chu Yun saw a light group on the top of the tree of 10,000 worlds again. Chu Yun's thoughts moved. The treasure fruit on the tree of 10,000 worlds has already appeared in Chu Yun's hands. As soon as Chu Yun touched the treasure fruit, the information of Sharingan appeared in his mind. Sharing Eye, from the world of Naruto, it has the ability to observe, copy, hypnotize, and gain insight into the opponent's moves. Without any hesitation, Chu Yun chose to fuse the writing wheel. When the light group merges into the eyes of both eyes, 3 hooks began to appear in Chu Yun's pupils. This is a 3-column jade writing wheel eye, and it is a writing wheel eye that has not been developed to the extreme. But Chu Yun is also very happy. Sharingan can be said to be an invincible existence in the Naruto world. Even in the state of 3-hooked jade, it is infinitely useful. You can observe and copy other people's physical skills, and predict the opponent's attack moves. Chu Yun felt it a little bit and found that his Sharingan could continue to be developed. This made Chu Yun start to fantasize again. It is possible to develop the writing wheel to the extreme. Susanoo who can attack and defend. Amaterasu that never goes out. Carry the power of advanced spacetime ninjutsu. Other gods who can modify the will of others at will. In addition, there are 2 taboo secret arts, Yainaki and Yainamai. Thinking of these penetrating abilities, Chu Yun is looking forward to the development of Sharingan. As long as you develop it well, Sharingan will show its true power again. Thinking of this, Chu Yun smiled slightly, then put the writing wheel away. The 3-hook jade in the eyes disappeared instantly, and the pupils returned to normal. Think about it. Chu Yun unleashed his SSS-level talent Destruction Thunder Yan. Chu Yun's body began to ignite flaming flames, and among these flames, there were also traces of purple thunder. The whole person is wrapped in purple-red Destruction Thunder, like a Thor with flames around him. Slightly waved the fist that wrapped Lei Yan, and the air let out a whimpering sound. A terrifying heat wave swept the 4 directions, and the air was scorched into waves by the flames. Then Chu Yun displayed the ability to shake the fruit, and the space began to be compressed into folds. Inside the folds, a violent Lei Yan was burning. Click, click, click. Chu Yun tried his best to control that destructive force to erupt in a small space. It's just an instant, and the next space becomes shattered. Chu Yun instantly retracted his innate ability, and the space was automatically repaired in an instant. Taking a deep breath, Chu Yun probably knew his own strength. Without continuing the experiment, he was afraid of collapsing the building. Evening. Chu Yun successfully won the awards given to him by the Education Bureau and the government. A bank card with 1 million dragon coins. A small suitcase. Putting away the bank card, Chu Yun opened the box. 10 primary nutritional medicines appeared in front of Chu Yun's eyes. Nutritional elixir. Chu Yun knows it. It is made from the blood essence of a variety of beasts and a large number of spiritual herbs and medicines, generally divided into elementary, intermediate, and advanced. The primary level is generally 300,000 dragon coins. The intermediate one costs 600,000 dragon coins, and the advanced one may need 1.2 million dragon coins. This shows the preciousness of these nutrients. Chu Yun didn't choose to take it at this time. He hasn't practiced the exercises yet. Taking it now is too wasteful. Only by practicing the exercises can we properly digest these nutritional medicines, and the exercises generally have to go to Transcendent University to obtain. Put these babies away, it's getting late. Chu Yun fell into a deep sleep. The next day, the morning light broke through the darkness and shone on Chu Yun's face. After getting up and packing, Chu Yun received a call from the principal, Wang Yi. Student Chu Yun, the recruiters of the various transcendent colleges have arrived, and I need you to come to the school. Okay, principal, I'll be right here. After hanging up the phone, Chu Yun sighed. The speed is really fast. Without much delay, Chu Yun went immediately. When Chu Yun came to the principal's office, it was found that Lin Shui was already here. But Principal Wang Yi was chatting with 2 young men and women and a middle-aged man. When Lin Shui saw Chu Yun coming, her big eyes kept staring at him. Chu Yun was helpless. He recalled yesterday. It seems that when he was a child, he accidentally rescued Lin Shui who was about to be hit by a car. But that was just an accident, and the 2 sides have never seen each other since then. How can this be so entangled with myself? The 3 who were chatting with Wang Yi also saw Chu Yun. The young man said directly, "You are Chu Yun. I am a member of the Student Council of Kyoto Transcendent University, Xiaoming. On behalf of the school, I invite you to join us at Kyoto Transcendent University. We can reward you with a heavenly rank cultivation technique, 10 intermediate nutritional medicines, and 10,000 credits." The man spoke very fast, and said a big push all at once. This left the other 2 speechless. The girl named Lu Yan heard Xiaoming's words. He also immediately said, Mimoto University has an A-grade alloy weapon in addition to the conditions of Kyoto University. You can choose any weapon. Xiaoming frowned and cursed secretly. Big dog? A-grade alloy is a special material of hundreds of thousands of kilograms, so people can choose at will. Before Chu Yun could speak, the middle-aged man over there was helpless. Nanjiang University as above. He is the tutor of Nanjiang Transcendent University, and he also came to invite Chu Yun to enter Nanjiang Transcendent University. Hearing the conditions offered by Kyoto University and Magic Capital University, the middle-aged man was also a little helpless. But for the genius of this SSS-level talent, he could only grit his teeth and offer the same conditions. Chapter 10 Chu Yun's Choice. The middle-aged man was a tutor from Nanjiang Transcendent University, named Zhong Zheqiang. When he learned that such a monster appeared in Zhongcheng, the president of Nanjiang Transcendent University gave an order. It is required to keep this genius in Nanjiang. Therefore, Zhong Zheqiang could only grit his teeth and offer the same conditions. Nanjiang University is not as rich and powerful as Mimoto University and Kyoto University. But for Chu Yun, an SSS-level talent, they could only bleed heavily. Just when Zhong Zheqiang finished saying this, Lu Yan next to him said with a smile, Mr. Zhong, are you sure you Nanjiang can come up with the heavenly rank cultivation technique? Xiaoming also looked at Zhong Zheqiang suspiciously. There are still some. The old principal practiced the heavenly rank cultivation technique. This time, as long as Chu Yun can join Nanjiang Transcendent University, the old principal will personally accept him as a closed disciple. Zhong Zheqiang looked at Chu Yun and said with a smile. As soon as these words came out, everyone's expressions changed. Wang Yi looked at Chu Yun in amazement. The president of each extraordinary university is at least a master-level powerhouse. The strength is unbelievable, and now, in order to recruit Chu Yun, he is willing to personally accept Chu Yun as a closed disciple. It can also be seen that Nanjiang Transcendent University attaches great importance to Chu Yun. Chu Yun is also somewhat shocking. Nanjiang Transcendent University did not wait for Chu Yun to speak. Lu Yan was the first to speak. Then it depends on Chu Yun's decision. Chu Yun, you make your own choice. If you have any ideas or requirements, you can talk about it, and we will meet you as appropriate. Lin Shui on the side was a little hesitant to speak. Before she could speak, Xiaoming also said, Xiaoxiu, stop talking. This time the teacher told me to take you back to the capital. Lin Shui felt a little helpless, looked at Chu Yun and said weakly, Chu Yun, why don't you go to Kyoto University with me? The conditions over there are not comparable to Nanjiang, so we can continue to stay in the same school. Hearing this, Chu Yun's mouth twitched. The others also looked at Lin Shui with strange expressions. Xiaoming glanced at Chu Yun and seemed to think of something. He smiled and didn't say much. Zhong Zheqiang is also speechless. Nanjiang Transcendent College is difficult to compare with Kyoto Transcendent College, but you can't say it so directly. Cough cough. Xiaoming coughed dryly, hiding his embarrassment, and glared at Lin Shui fiercely. Lin Shui didn't realize it, and continued to look at Chu Yun expectantly. Hearing Lu Yan's words, Chu Yun did not hesitate. He said directly, I choose Magic Capital Transcendent University. Lu Yan was a little surprised when she heard Chu Yun's words. Xiaoming, Lin Shui, and Zhong Zheqiang all had expressions of regret. Zhong Zheqiang still seemed a little unwilling to give up. Chu Yun, you don't have to think about it. Our old principal is a master at the level of a grand master. You can get individual guidance from a great master, which is a rare opportunity. Chu Yun was still a little moved when he heard Zhong Zheqiang's words. That is the powerhouse of the Grand Master level. If you can get the other parties hence to teach you individually, that would be of great benefit to his future transcendental path. But unfortunately, Chu Yun made an agreement with people. Chu Yun is not arrogant and indulgent because of his talent, and doesn't put everyone in his eyes. So Chu Yun could only shake his head and said, Thank you Teacher Zhong for your kindness. The students have already made their choices. I'm really sorry this time. Zhong Zheqiang felt a little regretful when he heard Chu Yun's words, but he did not persuade him any more. Everyone's words have already reached this point, and I no longer force others. Xiaoming did not continue to speak. After exchanging a few words with each other again, Xiaoming and Lin Shui were about to leave. Lin Shui looked at Chu Yun with reluctance. Chu Yun, I will visit you in the magic capital. You have to take good care of your body. Chu Yun said helplessly. Student Lin Shui, you also take good care of your body, even if you come to the devil to see me. Lin Shui didn't care either. She said that and left with Xiaoming. In the end, Zhong Zaicheng glanced at Chu Yun, sighed and left. After all, the genius of Nanjiang was not able to stay in Nanjiang. This is indeed a pity. In the end, there were only 3 Chu Yun left in the office. Lu Yin patted Chu Yun's shoulder and said with a smile, Brother Chu, trust your vision, the magic Capital University is definitely the best place for you. There are many geniuses, abundant resources, and all kinds of cultivation facilities. You will never be disappointed. Chu Yun nodded, but he didn't care about that. Mainly because Qin Luyan is at the Magic Capital University. I had an agreement with her. Then Chu Yun seemed to think of something and asked, Sister, when will the reward for me be given to me? Chu Yun mainly wants to practice the exercises. Lu Yin was stunned, thought about it, and said, Well, you will leave for the Magic Capital the day after tomorrow, and then you will go to the logistics department to collect it, and I will tell you there. Chu Yun felt a little regretful, and thought he could get it now. Immediately, he asked, Is there any exercises that can be practiced for me now? I want to try out the feeling of cultivation in advance. Lu Yan seemed to understand Chu Yun's thoughts and nodded. Then, in Chu Yun's surprised eyes, he took out a booklet out of thin air. He threw it to Chu Yun and said, This is the mysterious rank cultivation technique. You can try it out first, and then change to the heaven rank cultivation technique after you go to the devil's capital. Chu Yun hurriedly took it, and excitedly thanked. Thank you, senior sister. Small things, let's do this first, and I'll pick you up the day after tomorrow. I'll go first. Chu Yun opened his mouth and said, Senior, don't bother, I'll just go the day after tomorrow, I'm not a child anymore. Lu Yan looked at Chu Yun with some admiration and nodded. That's good, I don't have to bother to run again. The day after tomorrow is the time for S-level and above talents to enter the school. When you go to the Magic Capital, someone will pick you up. You can go directly to the university town with them. Okay, I know. That's it, I have to go to other cities to recruit other students. Bye, see you the day after tomorrow. After speaking, Lu Yan's figure rose into the air and disappeared instantly. Chu Yun looked at Lu Yan, who had gone away with some envy. This is the powerhouse who has broken through to the gold level, so he can walk in the sky like this?